Kalalal Wahawala Yahweh Shami Shaiba Shamakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, our teachers, our apostles in the truth, peace and salutations to the brothers and the four corners of this earth, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity, risking the lives more now so than ever to do so. Well, I'm going to Zaki with another short impromptu video. Shalom. Alright, we're going to play a video that brother posted in one of the group chats. Alright, and hey, it's really a new age. It's really a new dawn. You know what I mean? The dawn at the end. Hey, what a time to be alive, boy. What a time to be alive. Let's just get back from the top, yeah, away from the tippy top. Right? The title says what Ukraine's anyhow at the bottom. It says Ukraine's robotic amphibious landing signals global arms race of autonomous weapons, meaning, you know what I mean, control from somewhere else or self-control weapons. So they are not to do with a human. Human can send robots to do the dirty work and then, you know what I mean, have their hands clean, so to speak. So let me watch the video here. No, does it have one again?
The Ukrainian military releasing a video showing a naval drone landing on a beach, then launching a robotic vehicle armed with a machine gun to open fire on Russian targets nearby. It may not be on the grand scale of Allied forces storming the beaches of Normandy, but it's being widely reported as the first known fully robotic amphibious landing.
It's not easy to make robots work with other robots. It's even more difficult to have robots at sea working with robots on the land. That's tough for humans. Ukraine's showing how to do it with robotics.
Just drone strikes from the air. They're starting to take the place of soldiers on the battlefield. Last summer, Ukraine reported carrying out a combined aerial and ground-based drone attack that captured a Russian position without risking a single casualty, taking 2 Russian soldiers prisoner after they waved a cardboard sign reading, "We want to surrender." And future missions may not even need a remote human operator. Ukraine is building AI into its drones to aid in navigation, targeting, and overcoming signal jamming, according to Washington think tank CSIS. And recently, a senior figure in the Ukrainian defense industry told the New Scientist magazine the country had already killed a Russian soldier with fully autonomous drones. The feature reportedly called Terminator mode.
The idea of robotic systems deploying into war, killing humans, was a science fiction.
The hot military product for the next decade.
Now it's real. We're not in the world of the Terminator where they're making all their decisions on their own, but they are able to take on certain tasks on their own.
CSIS reports suggest Russia has also used fully autonomous drones on the battlefield based on intercepted drones found without the communications hardware needed for a human operator. And its ally China also investing heavily into manufacturing AI-integrated military drones, which it's reportedly selling to buyers in the Middle East and Pakistan. The Pentagon says China in growing numbers of military drones and testing autonomous drone swarms that could saturate and overwhelm traditional air defenses. The United States, not to be outdone, recently unveiling loyal wingman drones designed to fly alongside human pilots in fighter jets. But Pentagon rules officially require humans to decide how those weapons are used. Experts say we may be witnessing a revolution.
Different types of analyses are equating the emergence of autonomous robotic systems with the emergence of gunpowder weapons and how it rendered most military forces obsolete.
The legacy of today's wars may not be who wins, but how the next one is fought.
Matt is joining us now from...
Yeah, so the little article underneath here says, from robotic beach landings to AI-powered Terminator drones, what was once the realm of sci-fi is now becoming reality on the battlefield in Ukraine, and the pioneering of autonomous weapons is sparking a global arms race with the US, Russia, and China racing to keep up. NBC's News Matt Bradley reports. Right? So yeah. So we see that hey, Ukraine breathing the plowshares, you know what I mean, into spares. We gotta get on that. Sure, you understand. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. You know what I mean? And we know Ukraine is allied with none other than, you know what I mean, the harlot, who is at the behest of none other than the small hatters. You know what I mean? So if Ukraine doing it, then obviously America already had that technology. You know what I mean? And even in the video they say, hey, Russia was already having autonomous drones, meaning programmed to do what they want. You know what I mean? They have a program and they release them. Nobody controlling it, you know? And they say Ukraine working on having robotic weapons like that. They just program it and let it loose. You know what I mean? Like run on its own, make its own decision, you know? And we know essentially they could program that to go to anything they deem as a target to destroy it, you know, and earlier on our uproar, they could say, well, it's a malfunction and sweep it under the rug. We know how we saw this work, yo. You know what I mean? We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. You know what I mean? Let me get that here one time. Second Corinthians 2:11. It says, lest Satan should get the advantage of us, we are not ignorant of his devices. You know what I mean? We're not ignorant of his craftiness. We're not ignorant of how the word Satan mean adversary, so we're not ignorant of how we main enemy, the number one enemy does work. You know what I mean? We know that they are truce breakers. You know, anything they say cannot be taken lightly. They always have a backdoor, they always have a loophole, and they always have a scapegoat. You know, these days with Nero at the helm, they don't really need a scapegoat. He doing what you want and whatever happen, you know. So it don't really matter now. But back in the day, you know, I mean, they used to always have a scapegoat. Hey, we got info that this person was going to do this, so we went and we blow up the country. You all know these stories. You all know these stories. You know, from the cracking down of, you know what I mean, on the censorship of the internet is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Talking against them, so on and so forth, being demateist. You know what I mean? Fill in the blanks. You know, to autonomous military grade weapons, program and let loose. You know, call it the Terminator mode. You know, we all know what Terminator was about. A AI powered weapon seeking to destroy a child. You know, before he grow older to change the future. You know what I mean? Everybody, I believe, know the concept of Terminator, even if they haven't watched the movie. Whether it be the old ones or the new ones or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? The revelation of the method, that is what the elites does call it. So even that movie from way back when, because I think that movie was even before my time. The original one was before my time. Alright? From way back when, look, today, umpteen years later, right? It, it being made manifest. Right? It being made manifest. So if Esau Edom doing that, right, it just goes to show, you know what I mean, the Lord ain't going to play. Alright, they have a 2 and verse 3. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Yeah, look, today we have in autonomous military grade weapons. And I mean, fighting wars. You know, and oh boy, this is going to pass with flying colors. They're going to use this one, but it sounds like it doesn't pass all across the board right now. They ain't even hesitating. Ain't no opposition against that. You know what I mean? So now we have a deeper understanding of the Revelation 12 and 12. We grasp in the severity of Revelation 12 and 12. Right? Where it's a whoa. No, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna do even. I'm gonna do even. I'm gonna get it. Revelation 12 and verse 12. Right? It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, so destruction to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. So we see that we stand to grab the severity of this precept here with great wrath, not a little bit, great wrath. You know what I mean? Great wrath. So imagine when the time comes for Jacob's trouble to hit. You know what I mean? We know it's starting with the house of the Lord. So imagine when the time comes for the brothers to be persecuted, for us to be persecuted. Imagine what they're going to do to us. You know what I mean? What they have in store. You know? And that is with the Isaiah 33 and verse 6, I believe. Yeah, Isaiah 33 and 6 coming. Right? It says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure. Wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of our time. You know, while we going through that, while we going through them fiery trials, right? They start two, and the point isn't 13, I know, but I think I want to start. Should I start at 10? I will start at 12. All right. Sirach 2 and Ecclesiasticus 2 and verse 12. It says, "Woe be to the fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that go with two ways." Yeah, the fearful hearts, the people, the ones that lose faith, the ones that lost patience waiting on the Lord, the ones that get frightened and forget that the Lord is omnipotent. There is nothing, you know what I mean, more powerful than the Lord. The ones who forget, hey, the Lord bigger than the program. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh bigger than the program. You know? Verse 13 it says, "Woe unto him that is faint hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore shall he not be defended." Yeah, that is where faith will be tested. You know what I mean? Our temptation, Revelation 3. Our temptation that cometh upon all the world. Everybody going to be put to the test. Everybody going to be put through that ringer. You know what I mean? So once again it says, woe, destruction, all right, woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore shall he not be defended. Yeah, so if you have no faith, you wouldn't be defended. These evils will come and overtake you. The adversary will come and overtake you. You know? And that is why it's so important in this time that brothers keep trying to increase the faith, not losing the little faith, but adding to the faith that they have. You know? Understanding the severity of the job we were appointed to. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was edifying. I hope it's packed food for thought. To the Akim watching or listening, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yoshai Ba'ashem Kwakudash. Until next time, Shalom.